Let's spice things up a little bit with our next spirits review here at Bespoke Unit. My name is Reinhard and we'll be drinking Ancho Reyes. Hello and welcome to Bespoke Unit. My name is Reinhard and today we're going to be sampling another very interesting liqueur that has been all the rage amongst the bartending and mixologist community and has found its way into the back bars and home bars all around the world. We're talking about Ancho Reyes, or as they call it, Menjurje de Ancho Reyes. This is a traditional chili liqueur from Mexico, the Puebla region, where in the 1920s it was quite common for all the local cantinas to offer their homemade menjurjes to the people there, which was sort of your local home brew, quite a fiery, spicy chili liqueur from the local variety of the Ancho chilies, which originally are poblano chilies, but after they're being dried for about 20-25 days, they become the so-called Ancho chilies. Spicy, dark, rich, roasted, and quite fiery in character. Now, the Ancho Reyes liqueur is quite a potent liqueur of 40% alcohol by volume with an ever so slight sweetness in the very back, but a lot of character, depth, and richness. But we'll get to that in a second. In general, I love the presentation of this bottle. It's a glorious mixture of a very rustic and sort of artistic approach here, where you see the design of the label is quite ornate, very detailed, and the bottle got this brownish hint and hue to it with a distinct texture and pattern all over it. You can find a lot of information and details in the bottle as well. The reference to the 1920s, as I told you about the original recipe, Menjurje de Ancho Reyes, which obviously features the ancho chilies down here as well. And the process is that in Puebla, the poblano chilies are hand-picked. They're then dried to become what's called the Ancho chili before being macerated in cane spirit from Mexico as well for half a year. And then the assemblage, the final blend with other herbs and spices, is made in order to produce the Ancho Reyes original. There's a green or verde variation of this as well, using the green type of poblano chilies, but this is truly the most classic and traditional expression of the overall theme. Despite the ornate packaging and overall look and feel, on the back label it also proudly states that Ancho Reyes is a liqueur made from the beloved and unique chili ancho, and it's manufactured in the town of Puebla de Zaragoza. Influenced by the old world liqueurs that made their way to Mexico, Ancho Reyes is of the earth, evokes a sense of timelessness, and is reminiscent of the nostalgic flavors of Mexico. Quite a lot of promising stuff right there. Let's see whether it can live up to those expectations. I've poured myself a glass already, so let's get right into it. As you can see right here, the color of the liquid is a golden brown with slight mahogany reflects in there. It's crystal clear. The viscosity is certainly thick, oily, and quite rich. When it comes to the nose, there is a blast of smoky, darkly roasted, slightly charred green peppers. So it's a more vegetal first sensation and not so much the spice and prickliness that you would expect from the chili. Just behind that, what really strikes me is a medicinal note that has an Amaro-esque connotation. to it. So almost like a very traditional herbal liqueur from Europe with that green, herbaceous, funky chili and paprika notes sitting on top of that. Behind a little bit of vanilla cream or crema catalana, creme brulee to give some sweetness. It's sort of intermingled with caramel and a slight musky and fruitiness towards the very end to round it all off and give a lot of complexity and character to the bouquet and the nasal expression here. It's rich, it's definitely full on, so there's quite a bit of nuances, there's quite many different sensations here that will take a bit of time to make themselves heard, to present themselves out of the glass. So over a prolonged period of 10, 15, 20 minutes, even half an hour, you will always detect new facets and new fascinating nuances coming off this liqueur. Time for a sip. Right up front, there is spice and chili heat that burns all over your tongue and all over your palate. Not in an unpleasant way. It's quite well balanced together with the sweetness, the mellowness, the oily mouthfeel. But from beginning to end, there is this consistent, pungent chili spice sensation and a very spicy, prickly, sort of upfront note of the ancho that will tickle all your taste buds and excite the palate and all your senses. So there is an evolution to that spiciness and to that heat coming here as well, because at the beginning it hits you right up front, then it sort of peaks and tames down towards the very end where the spice fades into a more mellow sensation, into the sweetness and some of that vanilla cream that we already experienced on the nose. Compared to the nasal expression, the medicinal quality is a little less prominent, and here the paprika, the poblano and the ancho chili note really shines and is way more prominent in comparison to what we had in the olfactory. Now, this is, despite its character and uniqueness, I would say a rather versatile spirit, because you could have this neat, maybe as a chaser together with a bottle of ice cold beer. You could make a long drink out of this if you pour some ginger ale or even a bitter lemon on top. And most definitely, it's a very promising cocktail ingredient for a simple two-part cocktail when you combine this with an añejo tequila, for example, or you could spice up your margaritas. You could pour it into your palomas, and sort of everything that has a Mexican connotation to it would very well pair with the Ancho Reyes liqueur. Speaking of pairings and the Mexican theme, I had to go for a Mexican cigar here as well from the Turent family. In this case, it's the 1880 Maduro that I picked because the dark, rich, leathery aromas and flavors are just an excellent combination with the Ancho Reyes liqueur. In terms of food, I tried some simple pieces of either dry bread, breadsticks, or one of my particular favorites is panekutao, an Italian flatbread with quite a bit of olive oil and coarse sea salt sprinkled on top. It gives you sort of a clean sheet to let the ancho chili really shine. It's like a white piece of paper that you can then write on or paint. In terms of affordability and value for money, this is somewhere north of 30 euros for a bottle of 70 cl. So not in the cheap spirits or liqueur category, but very much an exclusive beverage, but nevertheless, given the 40% alcohol and the experience that it delivers, the value for money is definitely there. All in all, I think this is a highly interesting next evolution of the liqueur category in general, where we normally look into the more traditional orange liqueurs, triple secs, maybe some cream liqueurs, or the traditional old European herbal liqueurs and amaros. The Ancho Reyes is a lovely new rendition of a modern New World liqueur that gives a lot of opportunities and a lot of different styles and plenty of material to work with to all the bartenders and the mixologists out there. But also, as I said, very versatile and easy to handle for all you cocktail geeks out there when you would just love to whip something up easy, simple at your home. That's it for today. Beautiful bottle, great drink, perfect pairing and cocktail ingredient. Menjurje de Ancho Reyes, Ancho Chile liqueur from Puebla in Mexico. I hope you enjoyed our review. As always, you can find the Bespoke unit liquor formula that I used for this particular review, as well as a blank copy for you to use in your own spirits reviews. And you can find all our resources, all further information, and various other spirits guide, cocktail guides, and reviews on cigars, spirits, and liqueurs on the Bespoke Unit website, as well as our social media channels. I'll see you next time here on Bespoke Unit. Until then, be safe, be well, and with my very best wishes and spirits.